fans in China watching on Zhou, writing in fun facts on Weibo. Best of 7, Fan Zhendong to start. Finds the middle of Zhou. Righty-lefty battle, left-handed player tends to have the advantage. But Fan Zhendong, the more seasoned, experienced of the two players on the international scene. Ooh, counter.
1-all.
That big opening backhand catches the net and doesn't bother Zhou. Opening backhand right off the bounce, that angle. It's a good combination from Zhou. And if he can make the shot consistently, it's relatively low risk as well. One interesting thing about Zhou, he uses the red rubber on the forehand here.
2-all.
Most Chinese players you see using the black rubber on the forehand tends to be the tackier rubber, the harder sponge. Fan Zhendong using the Fangbo blade right now, testing it out.
2-3.
Now again, from a familiarity standpoint, Zhou, more experience playing Fan Zhendong than most people on the World Tour.
4-2.
And the receive game of Zhou is so strong right now. Fan Zhendong hasn't been able to get into the point much. Yeah? She didn't seem, she wanted to focus on the match.
5-2.
It's exciting. This is obviously a big topic of conversation right now. And it appears that it's the hard sponge on the backhand.
5-2.
The blue sponge. Zhou, very interesting choice. And he uses a spin with the backhand over the table. Light rotation on the serve, quick to move in. First time we've seen the backhand receive fall short from Zhou, that I can remember anyway. A little bit off the top of the net again. Fan Zhendong within 2 points here. Earlier today, Fan Zhendong beat Quadri Aruna. Good opportunity in game 3, but Fan Zhendong pulled out an incredible rally, got an edge ball, and saved the game. Ended up clean sweep. That's the power of the backhand. Fan Zhendong with 3 points in a row. Now, so far, Fan Zhendong has only dropped 1 game in this tournament. It was to Benedikt Duda, the second game. No, the first game. Benedikt Duda takes the first game in that match.
5-7.
Big forehand stroke. Takes a little time to recover. The second towel break of the game, Zhou leading by 2. No rotation on that ball by the second bounce. Light backspin, that's one way to leave it, with a legible label coming into the receiver. Soft touch, Zhou leaves it at the back of the table. Once again, that backhand so spinny over the table. Watching the setup for Zhou makes me curious. I'm going to go back and look at some of his past matches. It's been a little while since I've seen him in a televised match, at least internationally. Long serve right at the baseline, and that's 4 points in a row. Quite a swing here in momentum. Zhou up 6-2, then 6-5, and now 10-5, has 5 game points. Strong backhand saves 1. Not a lot of rallies here from these players so far. The importance of trying to get in early. Ripping backhand goes long, 11-6. Game one goes to Zhou, Fan Zhendong, the top seed, has dropped the first game. We'll see what happens in game number 2 coming up right after this.
Därefter gick han vidare i förmiddags och slog 7:an i världen, Lingauer. Och här tar han första set mot 2:an i världen. Frågan är, finns det någonting som kan sätta hejd på denne Zhou?
Second game, Zhou to serve, love all.
Back for game 2, Zhou leading 1-0. Fast long serve. He's playing a very bold game. Between the strong backhand opening receives, the wide angles, some long serves here and there. Seems that Fan Zhendong's a bit uncomfortable with it. Killer forehand flip, 2 breaks of service for Fan Zhendong.
Free love. Love 4.
Now in the past, I'd seen Zhou with the black rubber on the forehand side. Oh, the wide angle, so much footwork. You know, I talk about quads when I talk about Fan Zhendong. Among other things, his over-the-table game, his full-out aggression, and his touch as well. But the amount of footwork it takes out here for those shots. He's really hustling around. I can tell you he's quite strong.
Six love.
So not a point dropped yet after losing game 1, getting only 6 points total. He's done that without any opposition yet, not on the scoreboard, not in game 2. Right off the bounce, recovery from the top of the net. So still not a point dropped for Fan Zhendong, a 7-0 lead. This is another thing about Fan Zhendong's game. His sweet spot is all relative, but it's huge. His backhand side, he can be out of position, out of reach. Hit the ball, still not a point dropped, so ignore the score on screen, 8-0. Make that 9.
No, 9.
Oh, the other side, completely blindly turning the corner, and Fan Zhendong sees it, says, nah, you can't get that extra second on me, that extra millisecond of footwork. Sorry, I'm going the other way. Mercy serve.
10-1.
There it was, didn't get to see it. Just know that Fan Zhendong's saying it'd be a good sport. There's nothing in the rules that says that. It is sort of a tradition within the professional game when you're up 10-0. To give the serve into the net or give the point if you're on the receive. Trying to make it look not so noticeable.
3-10.
Fan Zhendong was the master of that. A serve so unnoticeable, we didn't even get to see it on screen, how fast it was. There it is, Fan Zhendong takes it 11 points to 3. So the score on screen backwards once again, but just know they're tied up at 1 game apiece, and we'll see who takes the lead in game 3 right after this.
Skänker ett poäng av sportslighet och givmildhet. Och till slut tar han hem setet 11-3. 1-1 i set.
Third game, Zhendong to serve. Love all.
So Zhendong with some momentum, serious momentum after being up 10-0. Right down the line, the parallel shot. This takes a lot of strength. But that's something we know Zhendong has plenty of to spare.
Please play.
Tough to play when the server doesn't have the ball. Zhou hanging on. Inside out forehand to finish right after that big opening backhand. You don't want to see him when he's angry. Zhendong hulking out to start the match, or start the game rather. Third game of the match. Spinny opening backhand. Now I'm curious at some point to see the red side of the racket from Zhou. The way he bounced the ball on it, it sounded like a Chinese rubber, a little tackier, but typically by the sponge. Unless it's light orange, it's just tough to see from here. Cross the body from the middle. That abbreviated forehand stroke from Zhou ties it up. He must have been here since the beginning of the day. Our Union Jack hoodie boy.
2-3.
Confident blocking from the backhand corner, Zhou. Look at this blast of a backhand behind the table. He's fast and he's agile. The second one, very compact stroke. Drives forward with the ball. The opening one, a little bit more of a spin trajectory, a bit upwards. Second one going for the depth, trying to really put the pressure on Zhendong. Here are the angles.
4-3.
If you let this ball rise, you can't possibly hit a shot like that from where it's coming in. Zhendong, much like we saw Koki Niwa trying, but he's so quick. As soon as he finishes that stroke, the racket is straight out in front of the elbow, ready to go either way. Middle to middle. Nice placement on the opening backhand for Zhendong. Good combination too. After beating the opponent wide to the forehand, the opponent might be ready to cover that part of the table. Good time to take advantage, switch it up.
4-5.
Aren't so many safe places right now for Zhendong to serve. Wow.
6-4.
Reverse pendulum, the traditional serve that we see from Zhendong is signature. Zhou wasting no time with that second backhand. You could see he was even getting set in between the point, getting ready to come back to middle, prepared for the forehand. That's how fast his backhand motion is. But here's one answer. Zhendong playing it wide to the backhand. We've got a player who's coming in. Little help off the top of the net, but Zhendong ties it up. Second towel break of the game, dead even. So now it's her turn to tell him a little bit about the game. Game number one, he was sharing his insights. Game number 1, Fan Zhendong also stopped scoring at 6 points. Excellent placement down the line once again. This forehand from Fan Zhendong was quite effective, I would say, and consistent in game number 2. Oh, just out of reach.
6-8.
Zhou on the defense keeps some pressure on for 1, but you can see it's just such a passive position to be in, trying to cover side to side. It's not like he's countering it. This one there still gets a little bit of racket speed on it. That came down? Wow. I want to see this one again. This was like a fatality in Mortal Kombat. Watch him turn the corner. Oh, man. As clean as can be. Forehand flip kill with the power. Zhou up on 1 foot. Now, he is one of the taller players on the Chinese national team. Using that wingspan for the forehand flip over the table is going to be crucial. And the soft one to the forehand side leaves Fan Zhendong the opening opportunity. 3 game points to take the lead 2 games to 1. He's got the second serve here. Placement here. Zhou keeps it deep to the backhand corner. 3rd towel break of the game. 2 game points left for Fan Zhendong. Soft touch followed up with the rocket backhand, and Fan Zhendong 11-8 escapes the game victorious. 2 games to 1 over Zhou. He leads, and we'll be back for game 4 right after this.
Och sätter det hans 11-8 och ledning 2-1 i set. Han börjar få vittring på den där finalplatsen.
Fourth game, Zhou to serve, love all.
There it is, Zhou trailing 1-2 with the serve. There it is, the inside-out forehand again. Fan Zhendong quick to turn from the middle. Right off the bounce, that backhand from Zhou has been quite effective. Game 1 was quite a dominant performance, 11-6, but then Fan Zhendong turned it around and had mercy point, 10-0 on Zhou in game 2.
2-1.
That being said, Fan Zhendong in 2015 at the Polish Open versus Stefan Fagel, game 1 10-0, gives a point up, wins 11-1, and loses the next 2 games, so you never know.
2-1.
Beautiful forehand, plays it parallel. Zhou seems quite flexible with that forehand. Much like Xu Xin, sometimes he can bend the ball into Fan Zhendong's backhand, sometimes inside out spin.
3-2.
So this was clever. Fan Zhendong plays it soft when he notices Zhou way behind the table. Still Zhou with a solid, crisp shot. Let's watch the counter here. There's the big one. But Fan Zhendong has a lot of time with his opponent behind the table. And a lot more predictability for where the shot can go.
4-3.
Heavy underspin, deceptive on the serve. Fan Zhendong making good use of the shoulders of his shirt while there is no towel break.
3-5.
Gets the heavy underspin right back. Both players have fallen for the trap. Not recognized the amount of heavy underspin on the opponent's serve. If they did, they just didn't have a lot of option or idea for how to handle it.
6-4.
Power on both sides. You have to wonder, when's the ball going to explode? The sound, the pop, the cork. Unbelievable lunging shots. Fan Zhendong gets his head near his waist for 2 shots in a row in the leaping 1-foot jump shot down the line. This is too pretty. Still shots of that. Can't wait to see him. Net recovery, Fan Zhendong chases it down. Second towel break of the game. And he's leading by 4. Surprise long push. Zhou wasn't ready for that one. Deep to the corner. It's going to be a tough ball to push back. Or at least to keep Fan Zhendong from attacking with. Right in near the hip. Zhou steals the point. Perfect placement against Fan Zhendong. We saw Koki Niwa attempt this many times in his match earlier today. That short side of the table spin shot from down below. Again, a right-handed player versus a lefty. It was Fangbo earlier, but Zhou handles well, making his way back in slowly. And the streak is stopped. It is 4 game points for Fan Zhendong. Fan Zhendong's quite a funny character when you catch him relaxed.
7-10.
And he's a man on a mission to win this tournament. Zhou combination, that backhand again. 2 game points saved, 3rd towel break of the game, and the serve will be on Fan Zhendong's racket. Timeout called for Zhendong.
Vi har det engelska
Really wants to make sure he takes his 3-1 lead. Does not want to be serving at 10-9.
Han har alltjämt två
all
set
about
bollar
now.
upp i en 3-1-ledning, men eftersom han har tappat två i
Little
rad
break here, a little bit of hydration. What are we going to see? For me, the opening backhand has been so strong from Zhou. If Zhendong can either serve fast and long into the backhand, reverse pendulum, half long to the forehand side of the table. But Zhou's got fast feet as well. He's come around that forehand side for the opening backhand receive. If Zhendong could serve fast and long and dead into that backhand, it's risky. But I wouldn't be surprised if it gave some trouble to Zhou.
10-8.
Let's see what he goes for. Something safe, something bold. Reverse pendulum to the middle of the table, half long, and Zhou handles. He diffuses the timeout. Zhendong needs to take this point. Whoa, didn't expect that one to come back. Was caught in the backhand corner, satisfied with the shot. A little bit too satisfied because the ball came back. Zhou saves 4 game points in a row. Deuce here. And now Zhou with the serve. Can't get much better than that. Zhendong goes back into a breakdance move trying to counter this. He's got one hand back on the floor, the other one behind his head. Whoa, keeps himself up on his feet. Quite limber, but that's 5 in a row for Zhou. Zhendong with the serve, hasn't found an answer in a while. Unbelievable. This is like 4 net balls in a row, back and forth, and then it's net edge to finish it. I would love to see this point again one more time. 1, 2, there we go, and hits it out of the park. Mental composure, let's see, he had 10-6 and Zhou takes it. Zhou did the same to Lin Gaoyuan earlier today. So we will see. It's tied up at 2 games apiece. Let's see who takes game number 5. Game number 5 coming up right after this.
Fifth game, Zhendong to serve, love all.
Zhendong, after losing 6 points in a row, has to turn things around here. Zhou once again creating that angle.
Love one.
Now, I think this is one of the quieter but most deadly factors of a left-handed player. People are used to that signature inside-out forehand, but playing on top of the bounce, that short stroke backhand, closing out the angle can be very effective. There's the power. First 2 serves split. This is, after all, the Zhendong specialty, that backhand. The banana receive, the chiquita, as they say in Japan. Tucking the wrist way back, side and top spin from over the table for the It's an aggressive receive.
Two all.
Clever idea, but when you've got a player who's so strong on the backhand wing and comfortable in the middle of the table, even that forehand is covered with the long wingspan of Zhou. Oh, tries to go long to the backhand. Something I was expecting around 10-8 last game. Not an easy serve. Wouldn't be surprised to get a please play. Just incredible, the speed back and forth between these two. Fan Zhendong has to hit 3 shots here that would have won the point against most players. 1, 2, and a third. I'm quite curious how much we'll be seeing Zhou. I think if he wins this match, he'll earn himself a lot more time on the World Tour. New ball brought into play. I'm curious for Lin Gaoyuan. It seems like mental game. There needs to be some camp, some training. He's clearly got the skills to be top of the game. The mental game's so important. The toughest thing for me in this rally is when Fan Zhendong takes that the big shot there and squats to the ground, gets back up. Can be disorienting for many players, tough to keep your balance. Easy to get lightheaded, dropping that quickly, coming right back up. Catches Zhou with the backhand a bit wide out to the forehand side, covering the middle. A little apology there from Zhou, not sure what it was for. Either way, that forehand flip. Tall players, many of them have it. Dima Shuxin's actually much taller than you would realize. The Chinese national team standards anyway. Backhand so strong, and it's tied right back up. 2 points in a row for Zhou. Now notice how many times Fan Zhendong has had serves and hasn't been able to take a point out of his pair. This is tough. When the receiver causes that much of a threat to the server, it can leave them feeling a bit helpless. Good answer on the receive, though. Just thinking of serves that Fan Zhendong could do. Heavy underspin, half long, straight underspin. Just something that Zhou isn't so comfortable with. But Zhou again with that backhand over the tables, too fast and unpredictable. Split points. Just padding there, being sensitive to the cut on the forehead. Wiping down the sweat. It's tough to say. It's either got to be wider to the backhand or test to the forehand. And whether that means taking the forehand side of the elbow, trying to get Zhou to turn from the middle, use the backhand on the forehand side. It's not a good battle when he goes to the backhand. A clean backhand for Zhou is to his advantage. Really impressive to me. Zhou is able to keep the racket closed, keep the ball in play. As explosive as Fan Zhendong is, he's putting a lot of effort into these shots. Watch how long it takes him to recover. So the first backhand's big, and then he has to turn, drop the racket head for the big forehand shot. 2-point lead for Zhou. Make it 3. from 5-3 up to 6-9 down. Fan Zhendong has only scored 1 out of the last, what, 7 points?
16.
4 game points for Zhou. If Fan Zhendong could return the favor from last game, I'm sure he would do that right about now. Oh, runs all the way in. Goes for broke on the forehand flip kill. As soon as he sees this ball is coming up, he makes his break and blitzes the net. Look at this. Really quick to get there. That is reaction time. When people say, why is this sped up? That one was slowed down. 1 game point saved. 3 to go. These shots are unbelievable. Why does he do this to us in the audience? He saves it till the most nerve-wracking moments and brings out these incredible shots. 2 game points saved, and Zhou takes the timeout. Role reversal. Last time it was Fan Zhendong who took the timeout at 10-8. Had a chance to go up 3-1. Zhou looking at a chance to go up 3-2. But Fan Zhendong's got a little ways to go if he can do the same. So no coaches in the corner, as these players are both from the Chinese national team. 2 players from the same national association.
Time.
Typically will have no coaches in the corner. Zhou ends the timeout early. He says, okay, I've got my plan. Since it's his timeout, he can end it early. When he comes back to the table, Fan Zhendong has to follow.
10-8.
2 game points left, Zhou with the serves. Placement from Fan Zhendong right into the middle twice. You're watching him waiting to see if he's gonna creep into the forehand side for that backhand, and Zhou serves it to the middle of the table. It slows down the step of Fan Zhendong, but still, Fan Zhendong was patient. Opened up with the spinny backhand from the middle of the table, saves 3 game points in a row. 1 more game point for Zhou. Oh, the serve goes out.
10-all.
Tries to serve long from middle to middle, goes bold. Dead and long in the racket twiddle of despair. The spin, ayah. Poor Zhou. But a chance for Fan Zhendong to get his revenge. He's got the serve now, deuce. And he earns the points. 5 in a row for Fan Zhendong. Game point after saving 4. Look at this one more time. Light rotation, gets the ball popped up a little bit loose. Again, as spinny as these players can hit it, sometimes taking spin off the serve is what earns the 3rd ball attack. Last time he served, it was a service error. Now he's serving against game point. And he does it again! 2 long serves. 1 with his last game point and 1 against game point. Wow, Zhou fans are gonna be crying after this. Depending on what happens in the end of the match, Fan Zhendong escapes a 3-2 lead in game number 6 coming up right after this.
3-2 och har det mest gynnsamma utgångsläget inför set nummer 6.
Sixth game, Zhou to serve.
Game number 6, Zhou down 2-3.
1 love.
And he starts game number 6 strong.
Net. 1 love.
After 2 big service errors in the last game. 10-9 and 10-11. Even a let service could make you nervous. Look at this counter, no time. No time at all. Zhou opens so fast, and Fan Zhendong's already got the swing started. Counters the other way. Serious leg strength here in the backcourt, hopping around like a boxer. Now, I often will liken table tennis to boxing in the sense that legs are so important in stamina.
2-2.
It's also interesting considering Fan Zhendong is such a big Bruce Lee fan. Not that Bruce Lee was into boxing, but fighting nonetheless. Philosophy.
3-2.
First towel break of the game, and it's tied up. Again, Zhou needs to win this one to send it into the deciding seventh. Beautiful backhand. Fan Zhendong's signature wrapped and sent all the way to the barrier. Zhou's gonna have to make a pit stop to pick it up. Watch the technique on this backhand. Watch where he starts for the backswing. As soon as he knows it's coming to backhand, he gets low, makes a cave with his stomach, and drops in.
3-5.
Now, this is typical at the top levels. Of course, the backhand has the body in the way, so you have to create some room for that backswing on the backhand. As wide as Fan Zhendong is for that backhand, Zhou keeps it in play, counters it back. Look at this one more time. The block way wide from down low. Going low again, and that backhand of Zhou on top of the bounce to take the point. Those are the shoes of the man with the footwork out there. Ooh, almost the touch. Fan Zhendong going for a crazy hooking shot from below the table. If that ball comes into play, this point, it's just going to get even crazier. Danger, danger. That backhand of Zhou over the table. How can Fan Zhendong avoid it? That's one way. Half long to the forehand side, clear. Quite frankly, though, Zhou's footwork, I mean, he's come in for that backhand before. I think here he didn't want to leave open the deep backhand corner, maybe anticipating a long serve the other way. Is that an autograph on the cell phone there on that Unipod? Fangirls working hard to support their players, getting autographs, pictures, and everything else. Gotta love the power that both of these players bring. Again, the Chinese national team, unrivaled fitness. Some strong legs on the Japanese team as well, but still a ways to go. Dima and Timo making a case for Germany being on top right now, but we'll see. Fan Zhendong does not want game 7. Down by 2 with 2 serves. How can he avoid the backhand? Ooh, quick to get back up. Opening forehand and one right off the bounce. It's a 1-point game. Xiaopeng creeping in.
Please play.
No timeouts left. Both players are going to look for every extra moment they can to plan their tactics. The angle spinny down the line and then way out wide to the other side. Fan Zhendong fans in the crowd. Tied up. Depending on who's on the other side, matchup style-wise, you've got either Fangbo or Xu Xin. Fan Zhendong has been quite dominant against Xu Xin in recent years. Hangs in there, steps into the lead. But Zhou playing it from backhand to forehand. Zhou covers the middle quite well. And he times his stroke very well, too, to stay on top of Fan Zhendong's backhand to the middle. Not easy to do. Very few players in the world can do it. So he had to really lean the upper body out of the way to make room for that forehand stroke.
Please play.
Game number 6 will be decided by 2 points. It's going to have to happen pretty quickly. Long push, and Zhou not bothered, earns game points. He had 4 in the last game, and Fan Zhendong managed to come back. Game point to Zhou. Fan Zhendong, second serve. Oh, doesn't climb the net. Gets the forehand in. Again, Zhou looking for anything he can do to get that backhand into play early in the point in the receive game. But now on the serve, it's tied up. Deuce, game number 6. Opportunities there. Fan Zhendong with a clever idea. Game point back to Zhou. Oh, top edge of the racket for Fan Zhendong, and he can't take it in 6. If he's going to win, it's going to have to be the 7th. Last 3 games have been won 12 points to 10, but they've been alternating, and Zhou sends it to a 7th and deciding game. Stay right here to see who will be the first men's player to make it into the singles final. Game 7 coming right up after this.
Det blir ett skiljeset återigen. Den här gången så är det mellan Zhou och Fan Zhendong. Vinnaren här bokar en plats i herrsingelfinalen. Inga timeouts återstår. Nu är det bara backhand och forehand så det visslar om det. Återstår att se vem som står där med lättat ansiktsuttryck när allting är över.
Back for game number 7. Fan Zhendong wants this tournament more than a fish needs air. I don't know if that's a thing. He wants this bad, that's for sure. Fan Zhendong starting off with the serve. Zhou with the momentum. Fish don't need air. I'm going to look this up later. I have a lot to learn about the under the sea life.
Net. Low ball.
2 in a row to start it off.
Now 1.
A quiet start for Fan Zhendong from the stomp to the third ball attack. Looks a little bit deflated right now. Too wide off the bounce again. That backhand, that angle Zhou is very fast to take it off the bounce. And he's created some very wide angles. He moves with the ball so well. He reads Fan Zhendong's shot. It's not the most obvious shot that it's coming parallel, more down to the backhand side.
Net. 2 up. Two, 1.
So far, no player has won a point in Game 7 with their serve. Serving player has lost every point so far. Unbelievable. This is amazing to me. The ball comes off the table. Fan Zhendong makes a beautiful forehand shot off a serve that's quite well placed. And Zhou already moving takes the short stroke across the chest to counter it. So that was the first point by a server so far in Game 7.
2-3.
So the backhand's quite consistent for Zhou. The forehand here doesn't come down on the table. If Fan Zhendong can create some patterns to move Zhou wider to the forehand, keep him in check by serving deep to the backhand, or occasionally short to the backhand. Inside out forehand, that little bit of side spin on it to bend it away to the forehand of Zhou. Sends Fan Zhendong into the towel break, tied up at 3 games apiece. Now, I'm not sure how much last week has to do with it, but again, I think Zhou could be a tougher opponent than either Fang Bo or Xu Xin at this point for Fan Zhendong, if he can get through Zhou. Soft, confident shot at first from Zhou, but the power is on the side of Fan Zhendong. He takes the aggressive angles here. So Fan Zhendong in the lead now. He's tried several similar shots. Pressure situations, the down-the-line shots when you've got an opponent who's so fast on his feet. It really puts extra pressure on you to make it right on the line. Getting ready for autographs. Oh, dribbler over the top of the net, and they're going to switch sides with Zhou with a bit of momentum now. Zhou leading 5-4. That one bounces twice on the top of the net. That's as wide as they come. The flailing feet of Fan Zhendong to try and chase it down on the wide forehand. Zhou making quite a campaign here to take a title. He's got a little ways to go still. But closing that one out, bending it wide to the forehand, he leads by 2 now over the top seed and favorite for the tournament. It looked like Zhou wanted to apologize for the shot before the point was over. And I could be very wrong about this, but I know at the amateur level, we see this a lot in tournaments. People apologizing for a shot before the point is over and then losing the point. It's not over till it's over. 1 point game now, second serve here for Zhou. Quick and ready for every shot that comes back this time. And the Zhou, second towel break of the game. Zhou a bit more fired up than we've seen. I've been seeing Zhou as a practice partner since 2014 on the World Tour. And a little bit more, he's been on the national team, but he's been hanging out sometimes, not given the opportunity to prove himself world class. But right now, I don't think there's any question. He's campaigning hard. With a backhand like that, we will see. Now or never for Fan Zhendong. Down 3 points. His opponent 3 points away from victory, becoming a men's singles finalist at least. Forehand receive has been trouble other than the break that came off the top of the net. It's a 2-point game. Fan Zhendong testing that short forehand game. Uncomfortable ball, change of pace. Zhou leaves it up for Fan Zhendong's backhand. Changes the timing a little bit, and we've seen the struggle. 3-point lead for Zhou. Spinny backhand from the middle, still not over. Fan Zhendong coming back. We will see. He has the serves here. Test the forehand, receive deep to the backhand. Who knows? Gets the forehand receive, comes around for the third ball attack. Zhou doesn't lie down easily. A lot of work for 1 point out here for Fan Zhendong. The rip has to recover and take it again, shorter stroke, and he's ready for a third. Zhou says deeper to the backhand, play it down the line. Stay on top of the bounce. 1 point game, second serve to tie it up. And Zhou gets the backhand into play, but Fan Zhendong gets a cross-court ball he wants. This game will be decided, and this match will be decided by a 2-point differential. Third towel break of the game. Fan Zhendong, the top seed. Zhou, the breakout performance. Zhou's had an incredible tournament. The question is, will it continue? Soft spinny backhand, Fan Zhendong earns match points. Zhou straightens out the tongues of the shoes. Will this give some confidence to Fan Zhendong? Will he play looser? We saw 2 service errors from Zhou earlier, one costing him game point, one costing him the game. Oh, heavy underspin on the pendulum, deuce in game 7. This is very interesting for me. Fan Zhendong looking to redeem himself from last week, but it's different against teammates. And Zhou looking to break into the spotlight and create possibilities for his future in China. Hangs in there with a change of pace. Fan Zhendong very focused, gets the spin shots in and earns another match point. I love table tennis too. Xiaopeng does it, 12-10 in game 7. What a match. And that has got to be a stressful performance for both. Outstanding tournament from Zhou. Look at how many double-digit scores are on the screen. Every game after the first, Fan Zhendong had at least 10 points and still had to go to game 7. So Fan Zhendong will play for the title tomorrow. The question is, will it be Fang Bo or will it be Xu Xin? Zhou, bravo for such an outstanding tournament. The world knows you are here and knows you are capable. And Fan Zhendong lives to see another match and a chance at the title. Stick around. We've got another semi-final for the women coming right up. It'll be Chen Xingtong and Zhu Yuling. You're watching the 2017 Seamaster World Tour Swedish Open.
Nu är det semifinal i damsingel som står på schemat. Tävlingens kinesiska överraskning på damsidan, Zhendong, ställs mot världsettan Zhou. 5 minuter, ta för guds skull lite luft och fyll på bränsledepåerna så ses vi alldeles strax igen.